Good morning. Welcome to Politically Incorrect Knitters. I am Deplorable Knitter. This lovely lady is Ann Pinkova, and we are happy you guys are here. Good morning. What's up? Oh, someone's frozen. It's either me or her.
We have had a couple internet issues already, and we're 20 seconds in. It's great, people.
Yeah, sorry, guys. It's Saturday morning, and the internet's like, hey, I'm not sure why you're doing this, but shouldn't we all be like kind of taking it down a notch? So, what do you want to start with? Hey, let's start with our sponsor because we love her.
We do.
And she's awesome. And I emailed her, or not emailed her, but I messaged her in a panic the other day. And I said, I desperately need some yarn. What do you have for me? And this is what she gave me. And if you follow her on Instagram, you might have seen the pictures. But this is Scarlet and I Smell Snow and well-worn jeans. And boy, don't they look like something I would knit with? Because they are.
Ultra patriot.
I know. I love the Scarlet. It's like reds can be hard, right? Like they can be super goofy. But man, this red is like super saturated. It's awesome. Love it. So yeah, Chicken Lady, she's our sponsor. She has fantastic yarns such as these three in my hands. You can use the code eBluebird20 PIK for 20% off of her yarns. And we have a giveaway, but Anne is not at home if you can't tell. And so therefore we don't have it today. I'm sorry. So comment anyway, because you'll still be eligible, even though we're not showing it at this moment. But yeah, I mean, and I love Chicken Lady that I can message her in a panic because I'm me. And do I ever plan ahead? Generally, no. Like okay. Story time, ready? So I'm teaching a book club at co-op, right? It's our second week of co-op. I assigned 5 chapters to read. Guess who was reading the chapters about an hour the class was? That would be me. I was at a table in the co-op with my headphones in, reading so that nobody would talk to me so I could lead a discussion on the book. So, yeah, I don't plan ahead, and she's super great and always willing to work with me, even though I can be a little bit goofy. So, that's all. That's my story about Chicken Lady and my unpreparedness.
Hey, but Lynn is ready to roll all the time. We are very grateful for that.
And she is great to work with. I've asked her for a color, and she sent me a picture that's not what I was looking for. And she's not offended. Like, if you're like, hey, that's not what I envisioned, and she's willing to, like, she's just awesome. And we know that. You can't tell we love her, so it's all good. So do you have knitting to show, or what's up?
I do have knitting to show, but as you can see, I am not in my home location, and the natives are restless. So
Okay.
give me like 30 seconds.
Shall I show mine while you're doing something?
Please do. Yep.
Okay. So, if you saw the stream last Sunday when we got back from camping, I showed off the absolutely horrendous slipper that I had made. And so to make up for it, I have been knitting the old school slippers that my mom used to make. Somebody said it's a pattern from the 40s. I know my mom was making them for us in the 80s. So they're just the little, you knit them flat. Knit them flat with like a little, whoa, sorry. I've got a little something going on here. You knit them flat with a purl stitch, and then you just do some ribbing on the toes and you seam them up. And they turn into super cute little slippers. So, yeah, I had to redeem myself after that monstrosity I made, right? I mean, obviously this is a hand and not a foot, but you can get the idea. Cute, right? So, I'm making those. I've got one of each color on my needles again so that I can finish them. And then I had hoped, because I'm me, I had hoped to have this hat done, but I didn't have time. It's a hat for Amy. Let them live. It's some super bulky yarn I had a partial skein of, so it's enough to make a baby hat. And I just figured I'd love to make like intricate, super great like cables and stuff, but I'm me and I try to recognize my limitations, and so I'm just going to try to make a couple of like pretty quick hats so that I can donate to our own thing.
Mhm.
Oh, and I got yarn for the blanket because I
Oh,
didn't
nice.
have the right yarn. I'll go get it. So you talk, Anne.
Well, I am so I still have the sweater that I'm finishing up. I was also knitting on this bulky blanket for Amy.
Oh,
It's a little,
pretty. I like the stripies.
yeah. Oh, I don't even have it on the right side here. So my idea was, because I didn't have a lot of this yarn, to do this, stripe to the middle, and then have a blue corner on the end. And then I ran out of blue. So I'm going
Oh
to,
no.
yeah, going to have to find another yarn because I don't have any more of that. But it's okay. It'll be a contrasting color. It'll be super cute, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's got like speckles in there, right? So if you get
Yeah,
something that goes with that, it'll look on purpose.
there's
It'll be
like
fine.
yellow and green and stuff, and I have this bright blue color, so something that coordinates with that. Maybe a yellow corner. I don't know. It'll be fun. It'll be like, oh wow, that's so chic and modern. I'll be like, yeah, I planned it that way.
Yeah,
But
that's fine.
it'll be nice and more practicing. I mean, bulky yarn, yay, quick and easy, but also practicing with the size 13 needles, which I'm not very used to. So kind of getting a little practice training in before our big event on the 28th.
I don't
And
know if that's allowed, is it?
I think that's the point. You gotta keep going. But in case anyone hasn't heard about our event, it's going to be called the Half Blanket Handicap. It is 3 teams of 2 people each, and based on our how many stitches you can knit in a minute challenge that we have on Knitting War, we've paired people together so that their approximate times are the same, thus handicap, like golf handicap. So we're having these teams, and it's who can knit a blanket between them first. So if somebody,
Correct.
right. So if somebody gets to 60% in the blanket and the other person 40%, then together they finish. And the teams are DK and Amy of Pro Life Knitter, or Two Sisters in Spin Yarn. I'm with Liz Clothier, and Neil and Tabitha are a team also. Oh, and Neil's in chat.
Yeah. What up, Neil? Good
Yep.
afternoon. I
Yes,
think it's late there.
and our guest host, because we're playing, our guest hosts will be Epic Mike and Caro Brown. And I don't even know what those two are planning, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and it's going to be, so we've gotten some super chats already, which we super thank you for. During the event, we're going to give all the proceeds from the super chats to Let Them Live. Unfortunately, YouTube takes a cut. So like if you give $5, it's going to be like $3.50 or something that goes to them. It's just how it works. But if you do one sooner than that, if you do one now or at another time, for September, we're going to give all the super chats to Let Them Live. So it's all good.
Right.
And this is my yarn for the handicap because I wasn't going to buy yarn, but look it, I found this like aqua color, and then this one's like white with like, it's like a white strand, and then it's got, I don't know, it goes a little bit gray and a little bit aqua. And so I'm going to start with this one, and I'm going to do this one. I'll go back to this one. I'm not going to stripe it the way Anne was because that's too much, but I'm going to like alternate as I finish this game. So I think it'll be super cute when it's done. And so I found those at Michael's the other day. It's their brand, Loops and Thread. So yeah, pretty fun.
Yeah, and we're doing, if anybody wants to play along at home, because I've had a couple of people ask questions about it. We are doing, it's using super bulky yarn, and the pattern, it's a corner blanket. So we're starting with 3 stitches, increasing 1 a row to 100, knitting 2 rows, and then decreasing 1 a row back to 3.
Yeah, and Anne's gonna write it out, even though it's fairly simple. She's gonna write it out. I'll post it on Instagram. I'll post it like in our description so that everybody can,
yeah,
it's available for you guys to find if you want to do it with us.
Yep, and that is going to be at 5 Central, 6 Eastern on the 28th. That's at night, not
28th of September.
28th
Yeah.
of September.
Yeah, so 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today. So we probably won't have a show that week, obviously, because we're going to be online for, I don't know, around 4 hours, which is going to be kind of ridiculous.
Yeah,
we're hoping it's around 4 hours. And we're hoping that Caro and Mike we kind of gave them some ideas, and I have a feeling that Carol's really going to run with it. So we'll see what happens. But there might be trivia. Oops. Was it me or you?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Neil. It's going to be long. I mean, how are we going to get to the halfway of the blanket?
Right.
I guess if Tabitha can knit a blanket in like 2 hours, then it'll be over. We'll see.
Right. Then if Tabitha gets those numbers going, then we'll be great there. But yes, I timed myself just for me getting to only halfway point, and that was 2 hours and 45 minutes. So we'll see.
Okay, so I guess 4 hours was a little bit extra, but my thought is that
with whatever
that's just to the halfway.
Yeah, that's to halfway. That's not finishing the whole blanket. That's just me personally to halfway.
And if you're the faster knitter in your group, then obviously that's why I added at the time. It's probably gonna be more like 3.5 hours, honestly. So it's gonna be a little while. Neil says Tabitha better be on form. Yeah, so and not to do with that, I think we're good, right? We covered it all?
Yeah, I think so.
So this week, Neil and I did a joint Zoom with our patrons, and we were talking about the upcoming exhibition for Co-Crafting Democracy, and we had several people that were interested in doing pieces for the exhibition, and we were kind of working with them. And if you guys want to participate but you need help, reach out to myself or Neil, because we are like gung-ho. We want you guys to participate. And I thought of that because here is my hat that it got mailed back to me. It was in the exhibit in Seneca Falls. I Never Surrender. Look, I have like 6 patterns that are going to hopefully drop like in the next like 3 weeks. So if you guys want to do some patriotic knitting, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. So here's Never Surrender. Here's Fight, Fight, Fight. And so that's part of the reason why I had to ask for some special yarn. But yeah, stuff is going on. If you are interested in participating in the Co-Crafting Democracy exhibit, let us know. It's no longer in the exhibit because the exhibit has closed. It was 2 months or something. It was over the summer, and it ended at the end of August. So that's all. So I just wanted to put that out there. If you have questions about the exhibit, if you want to know more details, it's in issue 16 of Blocked. All of the criteria is in there. It's, like Neil put the rules in the thing so everybody can see them. So,
and also
we want it to be that I'm not the only one this time. Right. That's part of the goal. Yes.
No, I was going to say, and also for Blocked magazine, Neil is doing a cowl competition.
Yeah.
Yes. That he had the mitten competition last time. So it's, basically a square that, you can fill in whatever way you like, and you have to make the pattern and knit it. And Neil, because he's in the chat, I can ask him when the deadline for that is, because I don't remember off the top of my head.
I think it's December 15th.
Oh,
because we were just talking about it actually while we were doing the Zoom.
Okay.
And Texas Sheep Lady's asking about the thing. They're doing a different iteration of the Co-Crafting Democracy, so they need new submissions. So that hat won't be in it. I'm going to submit something else. And that's why we're asking people to put new submissions in.
Sure.
Email me if you have questions. deplorableknitter@yahoo.com. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely. No, sorry. There's so many things. And there you go. See, you were more on top than Neil. Don't tell me I said that. But Christmas submissions are going to go in his fall magazine, so you can make them in time for Christmas.
Correct. So get going, people. That's the answer.
Yes. There was, I'm trying to remember, there was another deadline. Oh, wait, our own knit along. I mean, we talked about the half blanket handicap, but for the month of September, because we are doing, we were doing the half blanket handicap, of course, but that is sort of like all super chats go to Let Them Live, but during the month, anything you make for Let Them Live also gets entered into a giveaway because we want to do a donation drive to help them out. And it's fun.
Yeah, Amy said they were running low on baby items, so let's restock their stores so that they have them. Mm-hmm. You can knit, crochet, whatever your craft is that makes sense. Sewing doesn't matter. She does not care what craft it is. And if you are doing it, you can use PIK LTL24 on Instagram so that we see it, so we can share it, so we can talk about it. It's a group effort.
Yeah, definitely. And also, if you just want to, buy something and donate it, you can do that too. You're like, that's nice. Don't have time. Go ahead. But we are crafters, so it kind of assumes there'll be a craft.
Yep. Make a purchase from Amy for Stitch Stoppers this month. She'll throw your name in the pile. So there's a lot of ways that you can help out. Some of them, are a little easier than others, but as crafters, kind of like the challenge, so it's all good. So yeah. Good news that babies are being born. Yeah, no, it's awesome that she has run out of things to give, but also let's just make sure she can continue to do that, right? So it's fantastic, and they do have a lot of support, but it's something Ann and I try to highlight, and it falls off your radar. You got other things going on, so we're just trying to make sure,
and
as Adam says.
But and we know too that a lot of people, charity knit for many different organizations too. So, I get it. But also, we love Let Them Live, and we love saving the babies. So it's good to feature them specifically.
Yeah, totally. Yep. So, all right. Husband tried to call me. If he tries to call. Are you there? I'm sorry. So if my husband tries to call me again and I disappear for a second, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. This is life. So I sent him to voicemail, but we'll see what happens.
Right.
We have not. Oh, yeah.
You go ahead.
I was going to talk about politics. So if you got something else, go.
I do, because don't tell Amy. All right. So with the Let Them Live baby knitting, so I actually have a little sweater here that I'm knitting for a friend of mine, and I'll have to make another one for Let Them Live. So apologies for that. But it is the Mithril sweater by Lisa Chemery. It is here. There's the finished thing. So it looks like a little chainmail coat. So yeah, and I am knitting that for a couple I know who are big Lord of the Rings nerds.
Oh, cool. Nice color.
Yeah. So anyways, and this is super, that's the great thing about baby knits, that they are so fast, that I just started making this last night, and look at that. Look at that little thing.
Yeah. Yep. I'm with you.
Yeah, anyways, so yes, in the midst of baby blankets and braces and everything else, and my own sweater pattern. But yeah, it's cute. I really enjoy it. Pattern's really nice, so I'll have to make a couple of these.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, politics in our politics show.
Hey, so we had a live stream on Tuesday, but it was before the debate.
Right.
So, what did you think of it, Anne?
Well, I don't know. I think when you talk, I should do the faces. It's like, I don't know. I was
yelling at the TV because she was doing that, and I just wanted to punch something.
Well, the whole time she was speaking, it was it was Trump saying, "Hey, we have some real problems, and we have a lot of real problems." And Kamala was all like, just being mean doesn't solve anything. And I think we should like have an idea. And he's like, "You're the one in office. You are the one in office." And you're like, "Well, I don't like it when you are mean." And then whenever he was talking, it was the simpering, like, "Oh, he's just so awful." And you know what? Nobody likes him. And not only that, so she was okay, so you had the debate moderators, and the debate moderators were obviously for her side, and they were fact-checking him on things that were
true.
Like on things that were true.
Things that were true. Yes. Also, can we just say that the chick is a sorority sister of hers, which should have never been allowed ever.
Yeah.
My husband was in a frat. I know that those dudes would like ride or die for each other. I don't understand the whole frat sorority thing because I wasn't in one, but I know that if I needed a partial person, I wouldn't pick one of his frat brothers. Like, that's for sure.
Right. Anyone
you know what I mean?
Who knew him in school would just be like, yeah, that's not a good idea. I never got school loyalty, but I'm that guy. So.
Well, I just know that, like, I mean, some of these guys, my husband's old, right? So he's been out of college for a while, and coming up on like 25 years or something. And they haven't seen each other in 25 years, and they see each other and they're like, dude, like, I don't understand, but it works for them. So, yeah. So anyway.
No, Adam mentions they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats thing, which seems to be like one of the biggest takeaways from this. So one of my coworkers, he's fairly lefty, and his wife is super lefty, and he was talking about watching a bit of the debate, and she's just fuming because she hates Trump, which but he hadn't heard about what was happening in Ohio. And I'm like, no, legitimately, there are, people coming to city council meetings, and there's police reports and everything. And he's like, holy crap. And I'm like, that's right. And even
they're saying it's not true. And there's a picture that was going around on X of a dude carrying a goose by its feet. Like,
yeah,
people don't just do that.
Yeah,
like, I've never seen anybody do that. Sorry.
Yeah, here's the mugshot of a woman who was arrested for killing someone's cat and eating it in front of them.
Although she, in her defense, she was not a migrant. I think she was like hopped up on drugs.
Oh, well.
I heard that she wasn't a migrant. So, all right, but whatever. Right?
Oh, but yeah, all these different things. And even, but the meme game, as Tara says, hi, Tara, has been amazing because like I said, the same kind of lefty coworker was saying, he's like, no, there I was just scrolling reels watching a meme, and the punchline of the joke was a video of someone killing a cat in Ohio. And he's like, what? Like, no, there was video right there. And people, like I said, people coming into these city council meetings saying, hey, why aren't the police doing anything about this? And also another lady who came in who said, like, look, everybody's talking about pets being killed, but my mother-in-law was killed. She was hit by one of these Haitian migrants who did not have a license and was driving on expired plates, and she was killed. And again, nothing. Just,
dude, speaking of migrants driving and hitting people, so last year there was a migrant, I think in Ohio, that was driving, and he hit a school bus and he killed at least a couple of children, I believe. And one of them was an 11-year-old boy, and the father needs to be put out of his misery because he's an idiot. He was saying, I wish that my son had been killed by a 60-year-old white man, because then we wouldn't be talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
How about this? How about, I wish this had never happened?
Yeah.
And he was talking about how JD Vance and Trump and other people in Ohio shouldn't even say his son's name. And I cannot imagine being so into a political ideology that I would use my child's death to go against like the people I don't like. How about the fact that they're the only ones that want to protect other kids from having that happen to that other families, right? Like the guy was on a Mexico license. He shouldn't have been driving here, like ever. And
right. And I've mentioned this before, but hello, Tim Waltz's Minnesota, that any illegals in my area that have a driver's license they go to Minnesota to get it first.
mm-hmm.
It's like, why? Because it's super easy to get here in Minnesota. Not so much South Dakota, not so much the other areas, but
and then the people of Springfield, I don't know what kind of place that is, but they're all like, the one lady went back on what she said. Not that she went back on it, but she was like, I didn't want it to be that people didn't like migrants and stuff. Dude, if they're ruining your town, they're ruining your town. You don't need to apologize for it. But how brainwashed are you that you'd be like, oh no, I don't want people talking about it because I don't hate the migrants. Dude, when you import a third of the population, it is going to change the makeup of your city. That's just fact.
Rents have gone up. And also, okay, it's like, oh, well, we have, all these people are just filtering through the border and all of them, not all of them, because we have stupid amounts. Somebody, might have been Mark Stein, pointed out, Trump's thing of, why are we importing people from the crappy countries? Why don't we get people from Norway or whatever? And people really mad at him about that. We have more illegal immigrants in the past couple of years than the entire population of Norway. The entire population of Norway. And it's like, oh, that's all right. Apparently we have nations worth of people coming in and that's just going to be fine. Like there's no cultural difference, no issues that might arise from that. But anyways, sorry, original point, that we have all of these Haitians.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. We have all of these Haitians that are suddenly in Springfield, Ohio, specifically. Like they were imported in, they were sat there. It's like, oh, you're just going to take all of these people and it's going to be okay. And there's no actual planning for this. They don't have the infrastructure. They don't have everything. And it's an entire foreign population.
Right. And not for nothing, and I'm not saying we shouldn't have immigrants in different things, but when you import 20,000 into an area, they're not going to learn how to assimilate. They're not going to learn how to act with the other people. So what they're doing is things that are foreign to our culture, like voodoo rituals. And because it is such a poor nation, they do kill cats to eat them in Haiti. And they don't understand the things that we have in place, like food banks and different resources. And so they're going to do what they know because they are living in a group of people that are all from the same experience. Mm-hmm. And that's not saying that people in Haiti are bad or wrong. It's just saying that if you don't help them know how to do things and you just let them all be in a group together, they're going to live like they did at home. And that's not the point of coming to live in America. So.
No, there's
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It's like, are you saying, people from other places in the world can never learn to do differently? It's like, no, but if you have ignorant people in a group of ignorant people and they're going to live ignorantly, okay, there's, like I said, assimilation that happens if people move to a different area and they become assimilated with their culture, that we have those changes. But it's like you can't, it's too much. There's too much of the thing. And not to mention that they don't need to be here to begin with. They just don't.
Right. I don't know why we're importing people. We have enough shit going on. The airplane thing. Put your own freaking oxygen mask on first. Deal with your own shit before you try to do other stuff. You can't help people when we're already in a tailspin. It's just what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I love my kids, and I would prefer to put their oxygen mask on first. But if I can't help them because I pass out, then we're all screwed. So, you know what I mean? That's just my... Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. If I lived in the U.S., still eat baked beans on toast. Yeah, so... Oh, wrong one.
That's why we don't
I
want
lived in the U.S., I would still eat baked beans on toast. But the point is stuff like that doesn't matter. So eat baked beans on toast. I personally don't like baked beans anyway. That's... And I know Neil's just being funny, but that's not the same. That's... Everybody, every culture, every area has different idiosyncrasies. There's things that, and they got weird, like, baked dishes in South Dakota. Like, everything's in a casserole. We don't do that here in New York. That's all right. So...
Yes, the cream cheese and dessert ratio is very high where I live, and we like it that way. Okay.
I mean, I probably could get behind that myself, but...
Yeah.
So anyway, we were talking about the debate, and then we went on a rant about Haitians. I apologize.
Anyways.
And it's not the Haitians specifically. It's really not. I wanted to say something. Yeah. This isn't about helping people. It's about hurting Americans. True story. Thank you, Tara. So anyway, deep breath. So what else do we think? We did not like Kamala. No. She was so smug.
Sorry. Selfish Nerd says cream cheese and main dishes too. Heck yes. Correct. See, this is important. This is important Midwestern culture. Okay.
Right. And that's fine, because there are nuances to different things in different places. But that does not mean that I'm going to come and eat your cat or your dog.
Hopefully not. And it's not even, okay, again, I should not get off topic, but it's not even that you're eating your own cat, okay, which is also weird. But also, it's the whole property violation and the whole, this is my pet. And it's like, no, I'm just going to steal this from you and kill it because it must be free. It's roaming around.
Yeah, I'm going to have a snack. I'm a little peckish. So, fuck, man. All right. So, anyway, I just loved that Kamala just lied her face off the entire event, and nobody even cared. Nobody even, like...
Oh, and they were old lies. They were old lies. It was the Charlottesville thing, and it was January 6th, and it was...
In the first minute, it was 2025, and he immediately responded by saying, I do not back that. But then she said it like 3 more times. That would have been a perfect opportunity for her cohorts to say, hey, Ms. Vice President, the president said in this debate that he does not support that. But did they? No, because I have never seen anything where everything was so stacked against a person. It was out of control. And anybody who watched that debate and thought that she did well, they probably need some sort of brain scan. I'm concerned for you. There's no way that you can watch somebody lie their face off and be like, oh, and watch the moderators 3-on-1 pile on.
Kamala only works if you have a couple things in place. A, that if you've only ingested left-wing talking points and you've never had anyone refute them, never had anyone say, hey, no, I don't think it's that way. Or if you have, you've totally rejected it. Different, like, the whole, oh, I have a plan and he doesn't have a plan. And
what's your plan?
All of her policies are changing. So she had this kind of trick that she did. It's like, oh, I have a plan. We're going to do, $10,000 in tax breaks for small businesses. And she listed a bunch of things, and it, which sounds coherent. I can list a bunch of things. You can't list a bunch of things. It's like these policies are, you can list bullet points, but they have no backing. And not only that, if these policies are great, she could implement them now as vice president. But she's like, oh, well, you did it's like, well, I have a plan. I have a plan for Americans. You don't have a plan for Americans. I'm like, that sounds like a threat. But she could do these fluffy bullet points when she has done nothing in the past. And she walked in and she introduced herself, which is stupid, but as if she just appeared on the stage. Nobody knows who she is. She just seems so, bright and put together. It's like, no, this woman is a moron and she has done extremely poorly in her job. And then whenever Trump says, hey, immigration is you, and the line that she had about it, you have to be fundamentally ignorant about how government works, because she did the whole like, oh, well, you told, the House, the guy in the House, that for this bill to not pass, and that's why the border is the issue. Okay, the man not currently in office is supposed to have total and complete power over the Republicans that are in office. And that is because Trump is the ultimate boogeyman. Not to mention that bill was just pork and had a bunch of other issues. But that bill, the one spending bill, is apparently the problem of the entire border. That's what you have to believe for that statement to make sense.
Yeah. No, she, although in her defense, Democrats tell other Democrats what to do and then they follow along in lockstep. So maybe she just assumes that Trump was in charge of all of it. I mean,
Right.
But the whole thing was just a bunch of bullshit. It really was. And then Trump did okay. He did not do great. He is not a great debater, and some of the things that made him so likable when he first came on the scene aren't as good. But she mentioned his rallies, and he just went off the rails.
Well, because
and he really should have just ignored it.
Well, I would say because it's so laughably fake that Kamala waves to crowds that aren't there, and Trump, she's like, oh, the whole whine she did, and I'm gonna do something a little strange. I'm going to say that you should go to his rallies. You should go. And then she did this whole like, and people are bored and they leave early. Like the event with like 10,000 people at an event, common. I'm like, if people are leaving early, it's like leaving early for a baseball game. And you're like, I'm sorry, man, I'm not going to be able to leave here if I don't go now. It's like that sort of a thing.
I want to get out of the parking lot, right?
Right. It's like, okay, I can miss the last bit. It's like, I got places to be tomorrow. Like, that is the level. This is the sporting event level of Trump rallies that happen all the time. And they do bus people to her rallies, which Trump did, mentioned. But it's like, well.
But he needed to not take that bait. That made him look petty.
That's fair enough. I would say that Trump is a good debater. I would say that in this debate specifically, he did have a tendency to jump from issue to issue when he probably should have carried through with a single issue. But still, with everything stacked up against him, and it's like he was still the only one talking substantive issues. And he did, again, not that we should listen to polls very closely because polls are crap, live by the poll, die by the poll, as Rush would say. But that after this debate, independents were still more towards Trump than they were.
More of them, yeah. There was one, I think it was the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times. They had a panel of 10 people. After the debate, 6 of them said that they would vote for Trump. I think one said Kamala and the other 3 were kind of meh. Mm-hmm. So that tells you something.
Yeah.
But the whole, he needed to stay on message. That was the problem. He jumped around too much, and he needed to be like, she's saying, my plan when I get in office, blah, blah, blah. You're in office now. What are you doing? This is a really different time than we've had before because people have had 4 years of Trump, and we've had 4 years of Kamala's ideas, and they're going against each other. That's not how it usually works. Usually you get one president, they move on after they don't win or they've had their 2 terms, and we get new people. But this time it's not that. And I think he could have leaned much harder into the whole, you've had me, you've had her, what did you like better? You know?
Exactly. And especially when Kamala's message was like, oh, you know, we've had Trump before and he was really mean. That was the entire vocal thing. And it's like, and this is just awful. And there's no going back. It's only going forward. It's like, hi, again, we have had Kamala. She acts, it's the stupid Obama thing where Obama would act like he's, you know, not in office and, oh, I'm just hearing about this when he was the president. It's the same sort of like, oh, well, I'm just trying my best. And, you know, it's the sort of narrative thing. Gary from Nerdrotic says about, you know, stories nowadays that it's not the hero's journey, it's the hero's journey. And the thing with the hero's journey, you know, the hero, he has hardships, he has to overcome those hardships, he wins the day. The hero's journey is that she was always the specialist girl all along. And the problem in the story is that she has to realize that she's the specialist girl all along. And once she realizes that and she doesn't let anybody tell her otherwise, then she can do the hero's journey and fulfill her destiny as being the specialist girl. Okay, if you believe that in your own head and you relate to that and you're like, oh, yes, Kamala, you know, just all these bad things happen to her. And, you know, finally, the old senile man has walked away and, you know, she can finally fulfill her destiny as being the specialist girl, which apparently she just stumbled into and had no impetus in getting there. You know, she's just the specialist and the bestest girl, and she just succeeds and is beautiful. And you just have to realize that about her, which is it's not only sort of, again, it's narrative, it's fluff, it's stupidity, but also it's trying the Obama thing. Because we had this before. Obama didn't do nothing, but he was clean and articulate, as the media said, and we don't rag on them enough. But everyone's like, no, hope and change, everything's going to be lovely. And, you know, again, it's the racial angle of, you know, we are going to atone for our evil white sins in voting for someone who is a different skin tone than whitey. And that's really going to help us out here as a nation. It's going to bring unity and peace and Black Lives Matter, which is what happened under Obama.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But did you see the Biden clip from 2 days ago?
Oh, the putting
on the Trump hat?
Yeah. I think it was to prove unity on 9/11 when you put on a Trump hat, and he did. I thought it was funnier that all of the school kids had Trump shirts.
That was old, that Trump shirt with the school kids.
Okay.
That was an old photo, I think, because I feel like I've seen it before. But unity, whatever. But I also wonder if it's a bit of a dig for the way that they pushed him out.
Fair enough.
I don't know. Could be. So, by the way, do you think that David Muir or Lindsay Davis should have a job after their performance? Did you know? Wait, hold on. Before you answer that, did you know that the person who owns ABC introduced Kamala to her husband?
Well, it's pretty incestuous between media and politics. So
right, but as the Trump campaign, wouldn't you be like, hey, Kamala's like BFFs with that person. Perhaps this is not the place for us. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just weird. The whole thing was just bizarro. Sucked. Anyway,
Thanks.
So do you think that after their performance, anybody should take them seriously as journalists ever again?
Oh, take them seriously, no. But also, it's a hack network. It's ABC Disney. It's,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
Like the question of, it's like, should they have jobs? Like, well, again, you're hack journalists for a hack network. I'm sure they'll do fine. But should people generally take them seriously? No, of course not.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's the thing. And it's funny because my husband really likes to watch the evening news, even though all of it's trash. And he will flip through the stations and listen to what they're saying about certain things, not like watch one all the way through. He won't even turn it to that station, and he hasn't for years because he hates that dude, because that dude is a piece of crap. So just amazing how trashy they are and how they don't care. They just don't care. And ABC on Instagram was trying to save face later, and they did put up some fact check slides on Kamala, and they did do some fact check slides on Trump to make it seem like they were real journalists, but they're not. And putting up a couple of slides isn't going to make people think you are. So good luck. Godspeed.
Right. And also, I forget if it was the first break or the second break, where it was as if somebody talked to the moderator, was like, hey guys, we're looking a little uneven here. We should, not interrupt.
It was probably the second break, because we turned it off before it was over, and I didn't see any change in them.
I mean, no, they were still totally for Kamala's side, but they would push back on her just a little more. There was one moment, I can't remember what was being said at the time, but they were all talking at once, and it was all talking for Trump to be quiet, and Trump just kept going. And it was the lady journalist who dropped out first, kind of realizing that three people, trying to talk against Trump at the same time, maybe this didn't look so good. Maybe, oh wait, hang on.
Right. So.
But no, I don't think it was a fantastic debate performance for Trump, but still, again, he is the one in charge of the narrative going forward. And yeah. And then, of course, directly after the debate, it's like, oh yeah, Kamala did so good that Taylor Swift is endorsing her. It's like, oh, do I smell fear, or was this planned already?
I don't know. I've always known that Taylor is pretty much a piece of trash, but thank you for solidifying it. Appreciate it.
Right. And well, also, she when she endorsed, she had a picture of her holding her cat, which, again, if it was an old planned thing, the joke is not the joke, but the meme, the narrative is supposed to be, well, JD Vance said something against childless cat ladies. And
well, she signed it as a childless cat lady.
Right.
That's how she signed her endorsement. So,
woohoo, childless cat ladies for Kamala is not super. Yeah. But also, it's with they're eating the cats thing, and the Trump campaign has just been memes it's like, hey, a vote for Trump is a vote for not eating cats. And the cats are like, save me, please. And it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. I don't know. I don't know the answer to any of this. I just know that I really, really hated the debate. I don't think Trump was a super awesome winner, but I also don't think he lost. Mm-hmm. I feel like he could have been stronger. It's the same thing as it always is, though. The bar is set so low for them that they don't have to do much to look good. And so it's such an unfair playing field. But also, there was talk about another debate, and he should absolutely for no reason ever do that. So that's what I know.
I don't know that he really needs to do debates, but also I'm like, I don't know.
If he did, he would have to be more focused. He got too distracted. And I really despised the way that all of her answers were canned. She didn't answer any questions. If Trump didn't answer a question, they said, excuse me, Mr. President, the question was blah, 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 blah. They asked her about the economy, and she goes into some story about being a middle-class person. And I'm like, I don't care. I do not even care a little bit about how you grew up. I want to know what you're going to do about the economy.
Oh, And not only that, sorry,
Mhm.
forgot another point where she was like, I really care about women's reproductive rights. So, that's because my, childhood friend had been assaulted by a family member. And it's like, oh, well, that's fantastic. Sorry. But you have with the sort of, hey, everybody should bail out the BLM riders. There were people who committed sexual assault in those bailouts of criminals. And even if they
Mhm.
weren't currently being arrested for sexual assault, they had sexual assault in their past. And it's like, yeah, we're gonna pay bail for you guys. Then it is all of the illegals coming over the border that she is supposed to have been in charge of, again,
Mhm.
murdering and killing is redundant, but assaulting, raping young girls and murdering them. And that has happened through the border. And then she talks about the Central Park Five and how Trump, hates the black and brown people because he was against them. And I'm like, okay, the trial is a trial, but let me tell you, that is not a group that you ought to be championing. That is, yay, Kamala. Not to mention
But
that
that's another thing that he should have just let go. He should have said that was X amount of years ago. It's been taken care. You know what I mean?
yeah, but
She had these
he
things
brought them
that
up at the
he rose to the
DNC
bait.
because that's a win for them, which is creepy stuff.
Mhm.
And not to mention that Kamala's husband paid for the was it the nanny or the housekeeper to have an abortion because he was having a fling with her.
Yeah.
Nothing like the upstanding dude that will kill his own kid while having an affair.
Yep.
But I am really looking forward to the Waltz Vance debate, though, because I mean,
When is
Vance,
that? Do we know?
I'm not sure when it is, but I
I
mean,
haven't
Vance
heard about it yet.
has been awesome on the campaign trail. Again, very surprised at how much I like Vance. And
Mhm.
Vance, Vance, who's a lawyer by trade, he's very quick on his feet, to Waltz, who lies about the stupidest crap.
Mhm.
Like it's gonna be a good time.
Yeah, it is going to be a good time. And whatever happens, they need to. I don't know if all the details are decided yet, but they really need to not go on to a network that is so openly against them.
That's
Like,
true, but also remember Trump's CNN town hall though that he did a
mhm.
while back. Everyone was like, "Why is he going on CNN?" And he rocked that. He was so
Yeah,
good.
but actually, CNN has been getting more center.
Mhm.
I'm talking about like ABC, NBC, CBS, those stations that just like are straight up crap. MSNBC, like any of that, they need to stay away from it. So I don't know, but I think if you don't mind, I have to go do life.
Yes,
I actually have a Saturday off, and there's things that have to get done, right, Anne?
there are.
There are lots of things, but hey, look, I almost finished my hat. I just have to see. I mean, I could just decrease this, but I'll see what the pattern says. Um, so yeah, I did that while we were talking. That was fun, and I'll hold her right side up. Don't forget how cool Chicken Lady is. And look at her yarn is made in the USA. How much better can it get? Oh, I dropped the other one, so you just get to see Ride. Um,
Yeah. You can get Scarlet without it being made by red communists.
correct. Oh, so I have to run, but we will see you later. Bye, guys.
All right, see you. Oh, PIK. Sorry, promo code. Oh, we're